Hi, friends. All for art and art for all. So, I thought it would be fun to draw a leatherback sea turtle. Well, to paint one, really. Our medium will be watercolor, and I'm going to use just black. Um, I suppose it's okay if you choose other colors. And I thought we could put some designs in the shell and make this look very oceanic. Um, because there are Pacific cultures, people that live on Pacific islands that would do a lot of patterns in turtles and kind of draw this way. So you want to start with your color wet. So I use my bristles to pick up water and kind of tap it into place. And then I stir a little. I can touch and see that there's a lot of water. And I don't want a big blob on my brush that can fall off. So I do try and have a paper towel ready for accidents. So that's off to the side for me. And when I go here, it's wet, but then I twist the brush a little bit to get the extra off. I don't want it soaking wet so that it drips. So I twist a little off. And we're going to start with the head shape. And if your turtle doesn't come out right, if it starts to go off your page, don't worry about it. Keep painting it the right size, even if it goes off the edge, okay? So let's start up in the top with a little arc, like an upside down U for the head. So an upside down U, and sometimes I do two strokes. I might come from the top down and from the top down, because sometimes that's an easier stroke to make with a brush. And then I'm going to put two little extra lines on the outside. And those little bumps are my eyes. That's all I'm going to do for my eyes. Now I've still got a lot of paint on my brush, so I'm going to put kind of a C or a little arc around the neck. And I'm going to give it one more on either side. So on both sides, I did a little arc. And those are going to be the top of the shell. And my shell, give you time to maybe go back to your brush, paint, go take your paint back to your brush. I did have a little drip. I'm going to just blot it off, and you know what? It showed up, and that I will try and make that part of my turtle somehow. It didn't really blot out. The black is really, really strong pigment. So we'll see if I can put a flipper there to cover that up. So you get to see fixing an accident. So I'm going to do a long draw down both sides. Where am I going? I'm going somewhere centered below the head. So let's make my stopping point. So I'm going to air draw from the center of the head down, 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 not quite to the bottom of my paper. And I'm just going to put a dot. And that's where I'm heading. And my shell isn't going to be like a triangle. I want to round it out a little bit. So swing out a little bit. There we go. I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to come down and out a little bit and in. Down and out a little bit and in. And now this is my center. And I'm going to take the neck and I'm going to make two lines that connect from the neck to that bottom. And when I paint like this, I usually watch a little bit ahead of where I'm going. So I start and then I keep my eye on where I'm going. And that helps me make my lines. You are learning to do this, so if yours are shaky, that's okay. When we get all the detail, it'll still look cool. And if yours is bigger and more triangular, that's fine. It'll still look cool. Some of the best ones are the ones that don't match, okay? So don't worry. I'm kind of reloading my brush, twisting that edge off so I don't have a drippy blob. And I'm going to put a fin that has a rounded edge. It goes from the top of my shell. And this one, I'm going to, so that was pretty long, about halfway. And this one, I'm going to come around. I'm probably going to go off my page a little bit, and that's okay. Now, it doesn't come from a teardrop. It's fat. So my next line, you now have two tops of fins. I'm going to come down centimeter, centimeter and a half. I'm going to come down and make my fin kind of fat and then meet up to it. So make sure you make it fat because this is strong part of the turtle body that has to be able to move the whole body. So it's not skinny. So I make sure that I start with it kind of fat. And this guy goes right over to the edge. And you can fill this in. Well, we'll fill in with patterns later. So now I'm going to try and use my blob and do a fin that comes out and around. It's also kind of fat, but this one is short. The little back fins are a lot shorter and a little bit more rounded. So the back fins are different. These are real powerful for swimming. And this would be more for steering, for like maybe making sure they're going the right way. Okay, so now we can put patterns in. And you can do any pattern you want. You don't have to do my pattern. But I'm going to go ahead and start with a wavy line. Down, down, down. Just going to have fun making a line with a brush. And this is all practice. If yours doesn't look quite right, you know, you're learning how to use a brush. It's new to you. And that's okay. That's what you're doing, is just getting used to the brush. And I'm going to see what it feels like to put some dots. If you want to do a different pattern, you can. But I'm going to put some dots. And some dots. Wherever they fit. And I made a fun pattern there. And let's see, this pattern that I'm doing here, I'm going to change it a little bit. I'm going to do some bumps that match the neck to start. So 2 lines that match the neck. Now I could keep doing that. Maybe I'll put a dot and a dot. I'm going to change this pattern. And I'm going to do, maybe I'll do a 3rd dot. I like 3s. And then I'll do 2 more of these rounded shapes. I don't know if I like this, but I'm going to keep with it. I thought that one looked a little hard, so I thought I would do something simpler. Maybe I'll just make this have all kinds of dots. So you can be doing whatever you want in these spaces. So I'm doing kind of polka dots, 2 rounded stripes, polka dots, 2 rounded stripes, dots. Making sure my lines in between are nice and thick. And then this side I wanted to do zigzag. So I'm going to my brush, taking my brush to my paint, getting more pigment on it. That's the fancy word for paint. And I'll start in this corner and go down and back across the other way, making triangles with some zigzag lines. And just zigzag all the way down. And once I have my zigzag, I can just add to it. I'm going to add to all the ones that go this direction, 1 line, 1 line, and 1 line. And then I'm going to do the same the other direction. 1 line, 1 line, 1 line. And you can either stop there and put some dots in there, or you can add a second line. Kind of keep adding lines to these. So mine doesn't quite match the one there. I did slightly different, but I think they both came out nice, and you might have done your own thing. So for my fins, I'm just going to keep it simple, and it's a little practice to paint within and leave a little white. Although that was my blobby guy, so I'm just going to let my blob show a little bit. That's okay. And I'm just going to fill my fins in black with a little white border. So I'm going to fill them in, but leave a little white as an accent. So filling in my fins with a little white as an accent. And if it goes off the page, it doesn't quite look right, don't give up on it, because I've been painting a lot of years, and I know that if you don't give up, when you get to the end, you kind of go, oh, okay. Because there were a couple places here while I was painting that I was like, oh, no, it's ugly. So I always think that, and I just know, I'm old enough to know, don't give up. So don't give up. Your choice whether you do anything in the head. I guess I'll do these rings that I was doing, where I just copy that contour, fancy word for shape, copy that contour, and there you go. So you could paint, I wouldn't paint around the turtle while it's wet, and it's going to take a while to dry. If you wanted to decorate the outside maybe with bubbles, that's something you could do. Just a few bubbles. Wow, I really didn't rinse off much of that black. Maybe my water's really black. My blue came out really black. Let me test it with my paper towel. Got a lot of black in my blue. I wanted some blue in my bubbles. So a nice little practice to draw a circle with a brush. And a trick is to do one half, then the other half. One half, then the other half. Okay, friends, I think that is our fun oceanic turtle, our leatherback sea turtle, our artistic interpretation. That's us putting pattern and art on the turtle shape. So we got the nice shape of the shell and put some fun patterns. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you're happy with what you came up with. Remember, whatever it is, I bet it's better than you think. So I hope you're proud of your work and you had some fun. All right, all for art and art for all.